Shabbat Shalom, everybody. My name is Jason.
I'm Caden.
I'm Jaden.
I'm Nicole.
I'm Eli.
And we are the Yahuwah and the Torah YouTube channel. And we cannot thank you guys enough for being a part of this. Shabbat Shalom, everybody. It is an appointed time of our Creator, and it is a day of rest. What other religious system out there has a day of rest that we are supposed to keep like this? And I will tell you the answer to that: there is none. There's no religion out there, and you can't even consider the seventh day Adventists. They are keeping a partial part of a commandment. But we, as the people of Yahuwah, have been given a day of rest. So we're out there to grind 6 days a week and grind hard and be fruitful and get the jobs done. And then we have one day that we are told just to relax, to not work, not have our servants work. And so here we are with this. So good morning to everybody out there. We truly love you, and we thank you again for being a part of this reading. Let us get going here with our music. And this is out of the book of Khalidi, and this is called Truth and Light.
Keep our hearts awake. We won't be fooled by mess they make. We follow Yahushua through the test. With Ruach strong, we won't rest. Yahushua, shine your light in me. Let my heart be clean and free. No fake words, no hidden sin. Ruach of truth, burn within. We take the stake of guided and walk your way, the narrow way. Yahushua came to kill, to stay. The crowds grew loud and stole the shalom away. They whispered, he is out of his mind. Fearful hearts were weak and blind, but truth will draw the hungry near, and light will shine when there's fear. Yeah, shine your light in me. Let my heart be clean and free. No fake words, no hidden sin. Ruach of truth, burn within. We take the stake of guided day and walk your way, the narrow way. Men from Jerusalem came with the light, calling light evil in disguise. They said he casts out evil by evil, but Yahushua spoke what's real. Can evil fight itself instead? A divided reign will break not plans. Yahweh, shine your light in me. Let my heart be clean and free. No fake words, no hidden sin. Ruach of truth, burn within. We take the stake of guided day and walk your way, the narrow way. He entered the Hakel, travel worn, not dressed in pride, not wrapped in scorn. He said, workmen come as they are, not polished clothes, but truth's own mark. And then he warned the people, watch their ways. Many look clean, but rot inside remain. Yeah, wash shine your light in me. Let my heart be clean and free. No fake words, no hidden sin. Ruach of truth, burn within. We take the stake of guided day and walk your way, the narrow way. Beware the ones who praise with lips, but hearts are cold and filled with tricks. They say they see, but they are blind. They lead the weak and twist the mind. They hide in darkness, smile for gold, but inside them pour shine your light in me. Let my heart be clean and free. No fake words, no hidden sin. Ruach of truth, burn within. We take the stake of guided air and walk your way, the narrow way. He said, take up my stake of kite. The easy road has no bright sky. The trials come like gifts sometimes, but truth reveals their hidden signs. He winnows grain from empty talking, calls the faithful ones to war. Yeah, why shine your light in me? Let my heart be clean and free. No fake words, no hidden sin. Ruach of truth, burn within. We take the stake of guided air and walk your way, the narrow way. Give us eyes that really see, not fake religion, not deceit. Let our roots go deep in light, so weeds of world don't choke what's right. We seek your wisdom like pure gold. We walk the truth, we won't grow cold. Yeah, why shine your light in me? Let my heart be clean and free. No fake words, no hidden sin. Ruach of truth, burn within. We take the stake of guided air and walk your way, the narrow way. Yeah. My cup was empty until Yahuwah poured joy. I carried water, but spilled it all through every failure, every fall. My thirst was deep, my strength was low. Yeah, Yahuwah said you will grow. Fill me up, ooh, me anew, with shalom and kodesh true. Pour your ruach into my life and make my desert bloom tonight. Yeah, I drank the dust of my regret and chained myself in what I meant. But Ruach Hadesh came so near and washed away the stain of fear. Oh, fill me up, ooh, fill anew with shalom and kodesh truth. Pour your ruach into my life and make my desert bloom tonight. Yeah. Then laughter came like living rain, and joy was stronger than my pain. I lifted hands and cried Baruch, for Yahoo healed what was struck. Fill me up, ooh, fill me anew with shalom and kodesh truth. Pour your ruach into my life and make my desert bloom tonight. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Now every cup I hold will be a sign of His love in me. For when my heart was at its worst, yeah, Yahuwah quenched my thirst. Fill me up, ooh, finger with shalom and kodesh truth. Shalom and Kodesh, pour your ruach into my life and make my desert blue tonight. Moshe spoke with a righteous flame. Israel, guard Yahuwah's name. If a dreamer comes or signs appear, test the word, don't walk in fear. If a man or Nevi rise, showing wonders before your eyes, and says, let's follow other Elohim, don't be fooled, don't follow him. For Yahuwah tests your heart to know, will you love him or let go? Walk in Torah, truth and all, cling to Yahuwah, that's the law. Baruch Yahuwah, El so true. Ruach burns his fire in you. I don't raise from Shamayim high. Torah lives, it will not die. That Nevi or dreamer's done, for falsehood fights against the sun. He spoke rebellion, led astray, turned your heart from Yasset away. Purge the evil, let it cease, that Israel may live in peace. Hold to the covenant strong and sure, Kodesh life will keep you pure. Baruch Yahuwah, El so true. Ruach burns his fire in you. I don't raise from Shamayim high. Torah lives, it will not die. If your brother whispers low, let's serve Elohim we used to know. Don't consent, don't hide the lie. Love Yahuwah till you die. Whether wife or friend so dear, don't let their voice bend your ear. Yahuwah alone is King of all. Answer is Kodesh call. If a city turns to sin and shame, serving Elohim, denying his name, search it out, test the word, see if the wickedness occurred. If it's true, burn it down, cleanse the land, remove the crown, let it stand as warning clear, that Yahuwah's name you fear. Baruch Yahuwah, El so true. Ruach burns his fire in you. I don't raise from Shamayim high. Torah lives, it will not die. Let none take spoil, nor gold, nor gain. For Yahuwah's honor must remain. He'll turn his wrath, show mercy again, and Baruch your fields with early rain. Because you listen, walked upright, love the truth and chose the light. Hold fast Israel to his way, for Kodesh fire will not decay. Baruch Yahuwah, El so true. Ruach burns his fire in you. Adon reigns from Shamayim high. Torah lives, it will not die. broken dreams. Stand in truth, don't compromise. Yeah, who will test the heart, not I. We don't just shout, we don't just sing. We serve Yahoo, Almighty King. Hands that help and hearts that obey. That's how we praise the Torah way. Give service, not empty words. Do what's right, let love be heard. Hear Yahoo, then obey. Walk His Torah every day. Baruch are the ones who do, not just talk but follow through. Yeah. Yahushua came by sea, teaching truth so faithfully. Women shouted praise out loud, but He pointed to the crowd. Oh, give service, not empty words. Do what's right, let love be heard. He Yahuwah, then obey. Walk His Torah every day. Baruch are the ones who do, not just talk but follow through. Yeah. Glory is not yours to give. He said, serve, that's how you live. Words can fly but fade away. Service stays and shows the way. Give service, not empty words. Do what's right, let love be heard. He Yahuwah, then obey. Walk His Torah every day. Baruch are the ones who do, not just talk but follow through. One cried out with loud delight, Baruch the one who gives you life. But He answers strong and true, Baruch are the ones who do. Give service, not empty words. Do what's right, let love be heard. He Yahuwah, then obey. Walk His Torah every day. Give service, not empty words. Do what's right, let love be heard. He Yahuwah, then obey. Walk His Torah every day. Baruch are the ones who do, not just talk but follow through. So we learn with joyful cheer, obeying Torah year to year. We don't brag, we don't pretend. We serve our King until the end. Oh, give service, not empty words. Do what's right, let love be heard. Do what's right. He Yahuwah, then obey. Walk His Torah every day. Baruch are the ones who do, not just talk but follow through.
All right, there you go, everybody. That is our praise and worship for the beginning of this. Now what we're going to do is we're going to get into some fun stuff, some real fun stuff. And when I say fun stuff, we're talking Torah, laws, and commands. Now, if you don't actually know that Torah is fun stuff, then this is absolutely the reading that you want to have. Because not only on this channel do we praise our Creator and His Son, but we also make sure that the focus is always what the focus of the scriptures are. Now, for those of you who've actually read the scriptures, and I hope that is a lot of you guys, but most people actually don't read scriptures. In fact, it's only like 2 or 3% of anyone who's actually in the Christian religion that has actually even read the scriptures. And if you are in a religious system and you have read the scriptures and you're still in the religious system, then I would submit to you that you probably haven't read the scriptures enough. Because as we go through these scriptures, from the beginning of the book all the way to the end, they're not complex. They're not a puzzle. It's not something that we have to literally figure out. It's spelled out for us. And that is the mystery that the religious system provides to everybody. Because the religious system will tell you that you don't have any laws. The laws have been nailed to the tree. Those are for the old people of Moshe, right? And we've all heard this, every single one of us. And, for those of us, when we read our scriptures, when people say things like this, our eyes begin to cross. Our face gets a little red, our ears get a little red. It is the most disrespectful thing that can ever be said, is that the words of our Creator are useless. They're not. And in scriptures, it's very, very clear that the people who are saved are a group of covenant people. When you are in a covenant, that means you are in an agreement, a lot like your lease agreement for your house. You do this, 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 you pay your rent, and your landlord will do this, 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 and make sure your house isn't leaking, hopefully, if you have a good landlord. It's the same thing with our Creator. Our Creator has simply said, if you will change your life and you will start walking the narrow path. Now, the narrow path that very much leads to destruction on the left or right is a path of choosing the right way forward. Now, when I say the right way forward, that's actually a description of what the Torah means. A lot of people are like, well, the Torah means law. That's not actually true. It means instructions. In fact, it does mean the right way forward. So if you are looking for a change in your life or a change in your family's life, and you're looking for that right way forward, then I invite you guys to listen to these Torah commands that we are going to be going over very shortly. With that, Cade, will you please open us up in prayer?
Father, thank you for this day. We thank you for your wonderful Torah, and we thank you for the day you have given us that is set apart amongst all days. We thank you for your Shabbat, and we thank you for this rest. And we ask that your Ruach is upon us today, that your Ruach opens our eyes to see your words, to see the truth of your Torah, that it is good, that it is holy, that it is everything you want us to do and beyond. We thank you for your guidance, and we thank you for this family that is around us from all around the world that is willing to celebrate a day like today. We thank you for everyone here. We ask that the Ruach is upon them, that there are blessings, that there is rest, and that there is healing for everyone here throughout their trials and tribulations. We thank you for all in Yeshua's name. Amen.
Okay, now what we're going to go over is we're going to go over a thing called the Shema. Now, the Shema is something that means hear and obey. It's not a one-way street. It's simply two things to do. We are told to hear and we're told to obey. Now, a lot of people will say right out of the gate, like, well, what are we supposed to hear? Because those of us that have come from the Christian religion or come from any religious system at all, you will understand very clearly that their motto is to hear. There's no such thing as obey, because according to the religious system, there's nothing to obey. They don't have any rules, regulations. They don't have the good instructions of our Creator that they have written on their heart, mind, and soul. Now, this verse right here is something for all of us. This is not for the old school people of back in the day only. This is for all of us in these modern times and this modern era, to where I hope that you guys will understand that the first 5 books of scriptures has never gone to waste. It has never been expired. It is something that is for us, for you, for your families, for all generations. So with that, let us read the Shema.
Hear, O Israel, Yahuwah Elohim, Yahuwah is one. You shall love Yahuwah your Elohim with all your heart, and with all your being, and with all your might. And these words I am commanding you today shall be in your heart, and you shall impress them upon your children, and shall speak of them when you sit in your house, and when you walk by the way, and when you lie down, and when you rise up. And shall bind them as a sign on your hands, and they shall be as frontlets between your eyes. And you shall write them on the doorposts of your house and on your gates.
Now, a lot of people, you'll look at this and you'll be confused because it doesn't make a lot of sense. When we are coming out of this so-called religious system, we don't know that we are supposed to take the words of our Creator and we are to write them on our heart. We didn't know that we were supposed to impress them on our children or dialogue with our family on them. We didn't know that when we get up in the morning that the Torah commands are to be a part of our day. We didn't realize before we went to bed that this was part of our lives. Everything that we do under the realm of the Torah. We don't go to the left and we don't go to the right unless the Torah tells us that method is correct. And the danger of not having the commands and doctrines in your life is that we are going to be judged on these doctrines and commands. We are going to go to the day of accounting, and it doesn't matter what you think or how you lived your life, because the day of accounting is all going to be exposed. All of us are going to see the road that we chose voluntarily to get us to the path that we are on. So with that, Miss Nicole, will you please say hi to our brothers and sisters and greet out our family out there?
All right, we have Brandy and family. We have Sarah and William, Danny Boy, Christina, Luann, Chris with our Yah Scriptures Assembly, Gina, Jeremy and Callan, Sue, Josh Rhodes, Honeymoon Stitch, Brian, Gail Williams, Obi Lines, Chris, Daughter of Yah, Heidi, Grace, Sylvia, Loving Yah, Colleen, and I think that's everybody. If I missed anybody, I apologize.
Yeah, definitely hello to all of you guys right now, to all of you guys in the future that watch this. We can't thank you enough for being a part of our little family. Now, what we're going to go over and what I'm going to hand over to you guys, I'm going to hand over my little fellas. Now, my little fellas aren't so little anymore because they've actually grown up and they're actually bigger than me, which I guess would make me the little fella, but I'm never going to admit that, except right now. And so here we are with the little fellas, and this moment right here, you know, for those that have been on this channel for a very long time, this is something we've been doing now for, I don't know, 4 years, like going over this, maybe more. I don't know. It's been a long time. And, you know, when we go over these, this is not something that we hope that you lose interest in. Right? As we start going over these laws, statutes, and commandments, please understand that a lot of people that come through this channel, wherever they're at in their path in this so-called, system, the religious system, a lot of times people will see these. And our job is that we are trying to bring back the excitement of the laws, statutes, and commandments. Because when you talk about them and when you have been given the understanding that not only do we have a great creator, but our creator has created great rules for us to follow. Now, a lot of people don't like rules. A lot of us, especially us growing up as kids, right? Nobody wants rules, right? We want to be as wild and as renegadish as we possibly can. And that works in adolescence, but at some time we grow up. At some point we decide that there's more to this life than the adolescent life. Now, if we're still stuck in the religious system of any religion at all, if you literally say I'm a Catholic, Christian, a Mormon, whatever, you are still a toddler when it comes to the actual laws, statutes, and commandments of our Creator. Now, you start getting out of these diapers and you start getting into a little more sustainable food as you start reading the scriptures. Now, that's what it means when you eat the bread of life, when you are literally reading the words of our Creator, is that you are making it from the Gerber baby chow to a little more stuff that you don't have to blend up, right? And as you start eating more solid food, it becomes very clear that all this foo-foo food that we had, and I will say the religious system is the biggest set of GMOs that you've ever had. If you're looking at some fluoride-ridden, trash heap garbage from Satan, it's the religious system. And when you eat that style of GMO food, you're going to get poisoned. When we have the understanding that all these preachers and all of these 501c3 churches that worship on the wrong day, it all causes confusion. And the thing about scriptures is there's no confusion to it. If we're willing to not be lazy and to read through these laws, these statutes and commandments slowly and apply them to our lives, they're very, very clear. So this is what we're going to be going over right now, and I'm going to be handing this off to my little men right here, and they're going to guide you guys through this to the very best of their abilities. Now, if you guys have any kind of questions as they're rolling through it, send them in, and Miss Nicole will pop it over there, and they will be happy to answer any kind of questions that you guys have. So with that, I'm proud to hand off to my little men. Little men, thank you very much, and let's get rolling. Sit down, Jade.
No, commandment number 1, be fruitful. We are to be fruitful land. Yahuwah said that we should not be people of the sluggish. We should not be people, couch potatoes. We should be fruitful people. Multiply. We are supposed to multiply. We are supposed to, it's not supposed to be one per, we're supposed to multiply. Everything we do, we are supposed to multiply, whether it's people, land, food, we are supposed to multiply. Replenish the earth. When you take something out and put a new one in, you cut a tree down, plant a new tree, replenish the earth. Subdue it.
Have dominion.
Over the fish, fowl, and every living creature, we are to take control of the earth. Who gave us this land to rule.
And I wanted to go back real quick. I jump in because I kind of take off on this, but I wanted to jump in on the multiply side of things because I was outside the other day and I was even eating an avocado. And I opened up the avocado and I looked inside of it. And for those of you guys who know what an avocado is, there's a seed right in the middle of it. And I looked down at this avocado and I was thinking to myself, this absolutely identifies the actual cycle of life. It doesn't matter if it's an avocado seed or it doesn't matter if it's a woman. There is a process of being fruitful and multiplying. And our Creator has designed absolutely everything. And I was so amazed by the avocado and the seed because, you know, when you look inside the avocado, you have the seed and then right outside of it's like this little piece of skin. And that little avocado seed is the baby of this tree. It was set in this womb. It was protected and it's meant to fall off the tree, go into the ground and build this up. Now, this is the design of our Creator to where He has designed beauty like this, to where everything is self-sustaining if we are willing to keep the commandments. Now, we've fallen because the majority of people have abortions. There's so many abortions. There's millions, if not billions of children that have been aborted throughout this lands that we are in since they've even offered up commercial abortions. So as we are cruising through these laws, statutes, and commandments, understand that every single one of these commands is very, very, very special, and they apply to all of us. All right, gents. Sorry.
You are bearing every tree is for food. You have made the trees and the herb bearing, if it bears herbs or fruit or food, it is for us to eat. Man and woman should build their own families. Who said man and woman would separate from their parents and they would cling and become one flesh and build their own families.
Master sin. By keeping the Torah, by obeying the Torah, and staying away from the sin is how we can master sin by not doing it.
Every clean animal that moves shall be living food for you. So if it is clean, if Yahuwah has deemed it clean, then we can eat it. It is food for us. Do not eat the blood. The life is in the blood. The blood is something very important to Yahuwah, and He said, "You shall not eat of it. That is an abomination if you eat it."
Walk before me and be perfect. We should strive to be perfect. We should try and keep everything we possibly can and try and be perfect when walking for Yahuwah.
Guard Yahuwah's covenant, laws, statutes, and commandments. This is the most important thing Yahuwah has told us. He told it to us more times than all the rest, and He said, keep these commands, laws, and these statutes and commandments that I've given you. Every male shall be circumcised at 8 days old. It is a covenant between us and Yahuwah. The male children are circumcised at 8 days old.
Teach your children the commands and guard the way of Yahuwah. It is something that the Torah should be passed down through generations. It shouldn't just be left on one generation, it should be passed down forever.
Remember Yahuwah's name for all generations. We are to remember His name. We're not supposed to forget His name. We are supposed to honor His name and remember it because that is our Creator. That is who brought us out of the hands of bondage. Keep the Passover, Pesach. It is the first feast of the year Yahuwah has given us. It is very important. It is a remembrance of when Yahuwah protected His people and also when Yehoshua was crucified for our sins.
Keep the feast of unleavened bread, the fast of Matzah. When the children of Israel were exiting out of Mitzrayim, they didn't have time for the bread to rise. So it is a remembrance that day where we take out all leaven out of our houses for a week, and we celebrate that time.
There is one Torah for the stranger and the Hebrew. So there's one Torah for everyone. There's not separate laws. If you want to follow Yahuwah, you all follow the same law. Sanctify all firstborn to Yahuwah. The firstborn Yahuwah said were His, and if not, they were to be ransomed. Those were supposed to be dedicated to Him because He loved the firstborn. The firstborn is what He had chosen.
There are no mighty ones before Yahuwah. We shouldn't worship anything. We shouldn't worship any statues. Absolutely nothing. The only thing we should worship is Yahuwah.
You shall not make graven images. We're not supposed to make anything of stone, rock. We're not supposed to do anything that creates an idol, something that we can worship. The graven image is anything that we can worship and we make, so we don't want to make anything like that. You do not bring Yahuwah's name to naught. When you forget Yahuwah's name, when you take His name in vain, when you call Him Lord or God, you are taking His name and bringing it to naught.
Keep the Shabbat, the Sabbath. Just like we're doing today, we should be resting. We shouldn't be working. We shouldn't cook. We should just worship Yahuwah and rest.
Honor your parents. We are supposed to obey our parents. Honor them. They are older and wiser than us. They are here to teach us, and we should honor them and take care of them. Do not kill. Yahuwah said you should not take a life from people. Do not be the one to take a life. You should not kill. Do not break wedlock. Wedlock is sacred. It is a sacred thing, and if you break it, that is sin. Yahuwah sees that as wickedness. Do not steal. There's no need to take things that are not yours. That is a sin. Do not covet anything of your neighbors. Coveting things leads to sin. It leads to wanting things that you do not need, and it leads to you doing things you should not be doing. Do not make altar from rock that a tool has touched. If a tool has touched a rock, you cannot use it to make an altar. You must not do that. It is against Yahuwah's Torah. He said, for some reason, it's something to him. The altar must be holy, must be sanctified, and if a tool has touched it, it is no longer fit for it to be an altar. And we missed one. Do not make false accusations against your neighbor. There's no need to lie. Do not lie about people and put them in a bad spot. If a man steals cattle, he shall restore it 5 times. The way your payment system Yahuwah made, if you steal someone's cattle, if you bring harm upon them, you are to repay it 5 times. Yahuwah's laws for criminals. Yahuwah has a set laws for criminals. If something happens to them, if they accidentally kill, or they purposely kill, or they steal, Yahuwah says and gives us laws of exactly how we should deal with these people. Do not lie with beasts. That is a very messed up sin that we should not do. Do not oppress a stranger, fatherless, or widow. Not sacrifice to other Elohim. You are not supposed to make other sacrifices to other Elohim. You are not supposed to do sacrifices to gods of hand and stone. You are supposed to worship Yahuwah only. Do not oppress a stranger, fatherless, or widow. These people, the stranger, the fatherless, widow, they are struggling. And why would we want to add to their struggle? If we are the true people of Yahuwah, we would want to help them. If we oppress them, we push them further away from Yahuwah's commands. Do not charge your brother interest. When one of your people and they need a loan, they are struggling as it is. There's no need to make it harder when they are struggling and charge them interest. If you borrow your neighbor's raiment, return it to him before sunset. More than likely, back in the day, the raiment was a set of clothes, and if they only had one of them, so if you took it and did not get it back before sunset, then they would go cold in the night. Do not curse the ruler of your people. The ruler of your people was supposed to be a holy person, a person of the Torah. It was supposed to be someone you uplift and build up as well with the people, because he is helping guide the people. Do not eat what is torn of any beast. If you find something that something has killed, you don't eat it, because it probably has some kind of disease, some kind of infection, something bad. No false report. You're not supposed to lie about false reports. You're not supposed to do these things. You're supposed to keep honesty in all of the camp. You're supposed to be honest. It does not matter if you don't like the person or not. You're supposed to have no false report, no lies come from your lips. Do not follow a multitude of evil. When there's a group of people that are evil, do not follow them, because you start becoming like them when you hang with them. When you start doing the things they do, then you become evil. Do not judge righteously against the poor. There are showing as it is, and if you have a debate between a poor person and a rich person, do not just take the rich person's side because he has money. Bring back your enemy's cattle if you find it going astray. Even if it is your enemy, even if it's someone that you do not like, the animal has done nothing to you. The animal deserves to have its home back. Help the animals of your enemy. Again, the animal is not your enemy. If you see the animal struggling, stuck, somewhere it shouldn't be, return it and help the animal. Stay away from rumors and gossipers. Rumors are a terrible way that destroy people, what people think about them, and you stay away from them, or if not, you'll start causing rumors too. Take no bribes. You're supposed to not blind your eye to justice. You're not supposed to blind your eye to what is supposed to be done according to the Torah. If you take a bribe, you only start by corrupting yourself, and then you corrupt more people. Do not oppress a stranger. Love the stranger. We were the people of Israel. We're once strangers in the land of Egypt. We are strangers now in foreign lands. We don't want to oppress a stranger, because we know what it is to be a stranger. Give your land rest in the 7th year. The land has a Shabbat as well, where you don't plow it, you don't till, you don't take any of its fruit. The 6th year, it gives extra food, and you don't touch in the 7th, and then you can start working again in the 8th. Do not mention any pagan names. We are supposed to keep our lips away from these pagan names against things that do not bring honor to Yahuwah. These are pagan things that bring in demons and bring in more evil. Keep the feast of Yahuwah. Yahuwah has said certain feasts throughout the year, and we are supposed to keep those. We are supposed to hold those with high regard. Do not cook your goat and his mother's milk. If you cook the goat and his mother's milk, that is wickedness in Yahuwah's eyes. Yahuwah says, don't do it. Stay away from that kind of thing. Obey the messenger who Yahuwah sends for you. If they're telling you and you know it's a messenger, listen to it. Listen to the words it tells you and obey them. Do not bow down to other Elohim. Just like the no other idols of Elohim, we are not supposed to bow down to other Elohim. We are supposed to worship Yahuwah alone.
Serve Yahuwah. We are supposed to obey Yahuwah, serve Him, and by serving Him, we can keep His commands, and that shows that we serve Him and we obey Him, and we can teach His Torah so that others can serve Him as well. Make no covenant with Elohim or outsiders of the land. The only covenant we should have is with Yahuwah, and we shouldn't have any covenants with people outside the land because bad things happen, like what happened with Joshua.
Do not make or use anointing oil on a normal person. Do not make or use perfume on a normal person. The Levites had a special set-apart perfume that Yahuwah gave the ingredients to, and he said, only the Levites, only the people I have chosen can wear this. And if anyone else makes this, I will wipe them off the earth. And that is a scary thing, so we should stay away from these perfumes.
Do not eat the fat. The fat is supposed to be burned unto Yahuwah for a sweet smell. We're not supposed to eat it because it is it's unclean for us. It is not something that Yahuwah wants us to eat, and it is unhealthy for us to eat as well. Do what you say you are going to do. If you say you're going to do something, be a man of your word and do it. Don't be a liar.
Return what is your neighbor's. Another command in honesty. If you see something of your neighbors, you're supposed to bring it back. You're not supposed to keep it. You're not supposed to steal from them. You're supposed to be honest in the land. This is what builds up a good community. This is what builds up a holy community, is honesty and being transparent with people and giving them what is theirs and not taking what is not yours.
Obey Yahuwah's dietary laws. Yahuwah gives us a list of laws that what we can eat and what we cannot eat. And that is very straightforward. There is no guessing on what we can and cannot eat. If Yahuwah says it's unclean, it is unclean. When it's time of separation, when they're in their time, you should stay away from them. Let them have their peace.
Obey Yahuwah's hygiene and Torah laws. Things of uncleanness, touching blood, touching corpses, touching mold. Yahuwah has set apart commands for all of this to take care of ourselves so there is no sickness amongst us.
Keep the day of atonement, Yom HaKippurim. It is the day of repentance when the priest would atone for all our sins. And so Yahuwah has us afflict our beings, and we can afflict our beings by fasting. Though it doesn't say directly to fast, it does say afflict your beings, and that is how we can afflict our beings. Do not uncover the nakedness of your family. Do not look at any of your family naked.
Do not take your woman's sister for a wife. Yahuwah said if you have multiple wives, you're not to take the sister of your current wife, because that only leads to more contention and more issues.
Do not lie with a woman uncleanness. When a woman is unclean, you're supposed to stay away from her. If not, you will be unclean as well. You shall not sacrifice your children to Moloch. You shouldn't be sacrificing your children at all, but to Moloch is even worse. Do not be a sodomite. Yahuwah says stay away from these kinds of acts. Stay away from these kind of things. It's man and woman should join one flesh. Do not be a sodomite.
Be Kodesh, holy. Yahuwah said he wants his people to be holy. We are supposed to be holy. That is a command to be holy.
Do not reap the corn of your field, or you shall not glean your vineyard. Back in the day, when poor people were just wandering around in the field, you would leave some in the corners so they had food to eat as well. Do not deal falsely or defraud your neighbor. Our neighbor we should be honest with. We should not do evil things to our neighbor. We should love our neighbor. And if we are defrauding him or dealing falsely with him, then that we are not showing love.
Do not lie or be a liar. We are supposed to, again, more commands on honesty. Yahuwah loves honesty. He loves when people are honest and they are not doing shady things behind people's back. And lying is a command Yahuwah does not want you to do. He does not want you to go around saying lies and getting other things and causing issues inside of his people.
Pay your workers for the day's wage they are due. If you hired someone to do a job and you told them how much you would pay them, you should pay them what is fair and correct. Do not harm the disabled. Now the disabled are already disabled, so you do not want to harm them, because if you only hurt them more, what kind of person are you, and what kind of love does that show them if you are trying to harm them?
Do not endanger your neighbor. When you have a neighbor, when you have anyone near you, you're not supposed to endanger them. That is just more things to do. You're not going to go chop a tree down over their roof. You're not going to do things that cause them harm. You're supposed to keep the people safe. Doing harm to people only leads to more harm.
Do not hate your brother. You should love your brother. He is your family. If you need something, you should help him out. Rebuke your neighbor for sin. Now, if you see your neighbor in sin and there's something wicked, you rebuke him. You tell him that what he is doing is wrong. And then if he does not turn away from that sin, then you go and get witnesses and you bring him before a judge.
Love your neighbor as yourself. Yahuwah said, love your neighbor as yourself, because that is what the commands will fall upon. And you will not harm your brother. You will not steal from him. You will return his cattle. That's what Yehoshua said. Love Yahuwah with all your heart, mind, and soul, and love your neighbor as yourself. And the Torah hangs on the rest of these, because if you love Yahuwah, you're going to obey these commands. And if you love your neighbor, you're going to do well by him.
Do not diverse your cattle. Don't mingle different breeds together. Don't mingle different animals together. Let each one have their own separate spot. Do not mingle your seed. We're supposed to not, when we're planting fields, we're supposed to keep the seeds away from each other, because then they start creating
these crazy types of fruits or stuff, and it's just not what Yahuwah wants us to keep the fruit pure. Or
Not-
plants. Do not mingle linen and wool. This is two different fabrics. Each fabric has its own vibrations. Each fabric has its own different properties, and if you mix them, it's going to cause issues within your body.
Do not lie with a taken woman. In a fair land, you would both be put to death for doing that.
Do not eat the fruit of the trees for 3 years. When you have trees and you plant them, you also don't eat them for 3 years, because if you eat the fruit, then it takes away from the nutrients that it needs. So you just let it grow out for 3 years. If it has fruit in the first 3 years, don't eat it. Let it grow out and let it do its thing. And then after that, you are able to eat the fruit of the trees. Do not practice sorcery. A pretty straightforward command, but it brings in demons and devils and things in your life you do not want. It is dark, black magic, and it is from the devil.
Do not round your beard or corners of your head. That's things that pagans do. Things like goatees or like styling your beard, cutting it all weird. That's something that pagans do, and we should not do that.
Do not cut yourself for the dead. That is another pagan ritual, to cut yourself for the dead, to harm yourself, shed blood for the dead, when you should be mourning the dead. You should be in remembrance of them and not shedding blood. Do not get tattoos. We are not supposed to mark our bodies. We are not supposed to add things to our body. Yahuwah has built us the way he is. If he wanted to have tattoos, we would have tattoos. We're not supposed to get tattoos. It defiles our body, and we are not canvases. We're supposed to keep our temple, which is our body, holy, and putting markings on it is not holy.
Do not prostitute your daughter. It's something that it should be obvious, but do not do that.
Do not defile your temple. Our temple is supposed to be holy. The temple is supposed to be a holy, clean place. Yahuwah said our bodies are the temple of Yahuwah. We're supposed to keep them clean and holy. Letting pork or letting some unclean food pass through it is defiling the temple. Do not consult the medium. We're not supposed, when we see someone in a medium, which is a sorcerer or someone doing magic, stay away from them. Do not consult them. Do not ask them in your future to divine anything for you.
Respect your elders. They've been around much longer than you, and they deserve respect. They are much wiser.
Have correct weights and measures. Another command in being honest and not ripping people off. Having correct weights and measures is in all things what pleased Yahuwah. He said that incorrect weights and measures, he hates when people rip other people off. Do not walk in the manners of the nations. So when we see the other nations, we see how the people act. We see what Gentiles look like, and we see how they treated the people of Israel. So we want to obey Yahuwah's commands and not do according to what other nations do, their traditions, what they do, their manners. We do not want to be anywhere near that.
Keep the feast of first fruits, Shavuot, Omer Count, and Pentecost. We would give the first of our fruit of our land in that year, and we would offer it up to Yahuwah. It is also a high Shabbat.
Keep the Feast of Trumpets, Yom Teruah. The Feast of Trumpets is a feast where we blow the horn, we blow shofars, and it's a remembrance of the time of Israel, and will be a ritual when Yahushua comes back. We'll be blowing the trumpets. Keep the Feast of Sukkot, Shemini Atzeret. It is a remembrance of when the people of Egypt ran out of Egypt. When the people of Israel ran out of Egypt, they had to stay in little booths or tents for a long time. So Yahuwah commands us for 7 days to do that in remembrance of what the people went through, so we remember where we came from.
If you blaspheme the name of Yahuwah, you shall be put to death. If you do things like take his name in vain or things like that, you would have been put to death in a Kadesh land.
If you kill your neighbor's animal, you must give him another. If for some reason you kill your neighbor's animal and this is not something you've worked out with him, then you need to give him another. You need to go give him another animal to repay what you have done to him. Repay injury for injury. Yahuwah wants fairness and equality in all the land. He said if you cause injury, you are going to receive an injury.
Out of the Yovel, the Jubilee year. Every 50 years, things would get returned to their original owners. Things like land, things like houses, and slaves would also be freed.
Confess your sins to Yahuwah and repay who you have trespassed against. Confess your sins to Yahuwah. Also, should we confess to Yahuwah, not Mother Mary, not a guy in a box. It is supposed to be directly to Yahuwah. And if you have trespassed against someone, repay them for the trespass you have committed against them. The law of being a Nazir. There was a special Nazirite covenant that was set up for people when they wanted to dedicate themselves to Yahuwah. They would stay away from the vine. They would stay away from uncleanness. They would stay away from certain types of things to keep their purity and keep their holiness to Yahuwah.
Wear zizis on the four corners of your garments. We should have 4 tassels, one in each corner of our body, and we should think of the commandments. They are remembrance of the commandments, so wherever we are, we can think of the commandments.
The laws of whoever touches a corpse. When someone touches a corpse, they are unclean. The Yahuwah says there's a certain cleansing ritual you need to do so that you can be clean again after touching a corpse. Follow Yahuwah's law of inheritance. Yahuwah has set up a special set of inheritance for the nearest relative, for the people of Yahuwah. They did not have sons, they did not have daughters, they would go to the nearest relative. Yahuwah set up the inheritance so that people would not lose their land to people like the government or something of that sort. They would go straight to the nearest relative.
Torah of keeping your oath to Yahuwah. When we make an oath, it should only be in Yahuwah's name, and we have to keep it, or we should be put to death. Do not add or take away from the word. Yahuwah gives us his command and his words. We do not add to it, and we do not take away from it. If there's a law, we do not remove the law, and we do not add our own laws.
Guard your soul. We are supposed to guard our soul. It's the most important thing we have. It is what we are supposed to protect with everything we have. We are supposed to stay away from the evil. We are supposed to stay away from the paganism. We are supposed to stay away from the Satanism. We are supposed to guard our soul.
Learn to fear Yahuwah. Fearing Yahuwah would be a kind of obeying him, revering him. By doing that, we can be keeping all of his Torah.
You shall love Yahuwah with all your heart. Loving Yahuwah with all your heart means following what he says. If you do not love Yahuwah, you are going to walk in the ways of the pagans. You're not going to care what he has told you and what he has set out for you.
Bind the laws upon your hand and the frontlets between your eyes. These commands are supposed to have with us at all times. This is basically we're supposed to see the Torah, we're supposed to work with Torah. The Torah is supposed to be part of our lives and it's supposed to be with us everywhere we go. Write the laws on your doorpost. There's a little thing called a mezuzah, which basically has a Torah scroll in it. You just put it on your door, so whenever you're leaving or entering your house, the commands are with you.
Do not tempt Yahuwah. You're not supposed to tempt Yahuwah to anything. You're not supposed to try and test him on anything. Yahuwah is not to be tested. That is not a wise idea.
Do what is right and good in the sight of Yahuwah. Whatever we do, it should always be good by the Torah, by Yahuwah. By keeping this Torah, we can do good in the eyes of Yahuwah. Do not be afraid of your enemies. When you go out to fight and you are fighting according to Yahuwah, do not be afraid of your enemies. Yahuwah provides for you. When people come to attack you and people come to hurt you or try to take money from you, do not be afraid of them, because Yahuwah will protect you and he will get you through it.
Remember Yahuwah. In all things that you do, Yahuwah is the reason that you are where you are. You must remember him. You must thank him. You must glorify him. Remember Yahuwah in everything you do.
Circumcise your heart. We should circumcise our heart because circumcision is a covenant, and we should be in a covenant with Yahuwah. Cleave to Yahuwah. Everything we do, we are supposed to be cleaving to Yahuwah. Our lives are supposed to be for Yahuwah. We live for Yahuwah by obeying his Torah, living according to what he says, and doing the work of Yahuwah.
We're not supposed to swear by anything, but if we swear by Yahuwah, that should be the only thing we swear by, because that is the most holy name, and dishonoring, disgracing Yahuwah's name would be a great blasphemy, would be a great evil to Yahuwah's name. Destroy graven images. When you see graven images in your land, you are to destroy it. You are supposed to get rid of it. Yahuwah said, burn the ground of which it is upon and destroy it. Get rid of the graven image.
Do not make an idol of Yahuwah as the pagans do to their Elohim. The same with no making statue. We shouldn't make anything like that. We should just believe in Yahuwah, even if we cannot see him. Rejoice in all Yahuwah has blessed you with. Everything that Yahuwah has given you, whether it's a breath, water, house, another day on this earth, we should rejoice, because that is a blessing from Yahuwah and he has given it to us. Do not do what is right in your own eyes. We should always be thinking about the Torah. Does this go well by the Torah and not by our own thoughts?
Do not hearken to the words of the false prophets. If there was a false prophet that arose in the midst, we are not supposed to believe him. We're supposed to get rid of him. We are supposed to not listen to what he says, because he is a false prophet. He is speaking from Hassan, not from Yahuwah.
Do not make any baldness between your eyes of the dead. If you have hair between your eyes and someone dies, you are not supposed to make it bald. You should not eat any abominable thing. You should not eat anything unclean, pork, shrimp, things like that, horse. Those are abominable and they defile our body.
You shall give to a stranger of clean food that dies of itself, but you shall not eat of it. If something died in your midst, you are not supposed to eat of it. You can give it to the stranger that is around, but you are not supposed to eat of the dead, because you're not supposed to eat of the dead things. But if it's a clean food, you can give it away.
Give tithe of your increase of seed year by year. When we had priests and we were supposed to give, if we had an increase in food of seed and we had products and produce that we were growing, we were supposed to give a tithe to the priests. But nowadays, there's no priest to give it to, so you can give it to the poor to help them out. Laws of the end of the 7-year release. At the end of 7 years, things would be freed. Things like slaves, and mainly things like that.
Do not borrow from the nations. Yahuwah did not want us in debt to other nations. We were supposed to borrow from our own people, from our own brothers. Yahuwah said, stay away from the nations. Do not be in their debt. That only leads to worse things.
Do not harden your heart or shut your hand from the poor. If you see someone that's poor and they ask for some kind of help, do not shut your heart off from them. Do not close your hand. Help them. You're supposed to bless them because you always bless you. And remember, one day that could be you. Our month one of Yahuwah's calendar is the beginning of the year. We should know when Yahuwah's years are. It also has some of the important feasts as well. 3 times a year, all males shall appear before Yahuwah in the land when there was a temple. On the 3 major feasts of the year, we were supposed to go before Yahuwah and all go into the holy temple on his holy days.
You shall make judges and officers in all your gates. You're supposed to have people that were supposed to watch over the Torah, watch over the people in the Holy Land.
Do not plant Asherah poles near the altar. Shouldn't be planting Asherah poles at all, but especially don't put them near the altar. There must be 2 or 3 witnesses. When there is something going on, someone is being accused, there has to be 2 or 3 honest witnesses about the matter.
Hearken unto the prophet who is chosen. If you have a real prophet, a prophet from Yahuwah that has come up, you are supposed to listen to him, not be as the kings did when they took the prophets and they killed them because they prophesied that they would die, that they prophesied that their evil would befall them because they were evil.
Prophetess of Deuteronomy. The way to tell if a prophet was true or not by if what he says comes true. Do not remove your neighbor's property line. If you have property line with your neighbor, do not move your line over so that you have more property than your neighbor.
How to deal with a false witness among Torah keepers. If there was a false witness, if someone was speaking lies in a Torah keeping, you're supposed to deal with it. You're supposed to handle this. You're not supposed to let this evil continue on.
First child is the adult portion. It's because the first child is when the parents are gone, he is supposed to help the brothers take care of everything by supporting them as well if they need something. If your brother's cattle are close to lost and you find them, you must return them. If something goes astray and it belongs to your brother, return it to him. Do not keep it. It does not belong to you. It belongs to your brother, and some misfortune has fallen upon him, and he has lost what belongs to him. A woman should not wear what pertains to a man, nor a man wear what pertains to a woman. Men should not try and look like women, and women should not try and look like men.
If you find a bird's nest, the mother and the babies or eggs, take the babies, but not the mother. If you found a nest, you were supposed to take the babies, because the mother can reproduce with the babies. They cannot fend on their own. If you build a new house with a flat roof that they would live on, you must put a railing around it. Back in the days of Israel, there were roofs that were flat and they only lived on, like a second floor to the apartment. You were supposed to know so people do not fall off and die.
Do not be a prostitute. That is very wicked. That is very unholy. Yahuwah says, do not do these kinds of things. Do not use dirty money. Do not use money that somehow came from stealing or evil things like that.
The law of divorce. Yahuwah did not want divorce. He said through the hardness of their hearts, he made a law of divorce and how to properly do a divorce.
Do not take a person's millstone for a pledge. The millstone is what they had to make their food. It's all they had. So if a person was to make a pledge with you, you weren't supposed to take their millstone if they try to pledge it as some kind of oath or vow. If you lend your brother, do not enter the house to get your payment. He must bring it to you. Return his clothing for sunset if that was his pledge.
Not a, oh, God.
So when you are loaning selling someone or something like that, do not barge into his house to get it. Wait for him to bring it out for you. If it was his clothing, give it to him because it was likely all that he had.
You're not supposed to hire a servant that is poor and needy. If you have a servant that has nothing, you are supposed to take care of him. You're not supposed to harm him. You're not supposed to do more damage to him than already has been done to him.
Every man shall be put to death for his own sin. If a person sins, they're not put to death for someone else's sin. They are put to death only for their sin, and no one else is put to death for their sin. Do not go back to the forgotten sheep in the field, for a stranger, fatherless, and widow. If you're taking things out of the field and you leave some kind of food there, just leave it. If you forgot it there, just leave it. The widow, the fatherless, they all need it more.
Do not go back to the forgotten sheep from the field. Do not muzzle your ox when you tread out grain. If your ox is feeding on the field and he's plowing for you, do not stop him from eating. You are supposed to let him eat as well.
If your brother dies and has no child, you should take the wife and name the firstborn after your brother. If you have a brother and he has no child, it's pretty self-explanatory verse. It's in the title. Then you shall take his wife and name the firstborn of that children you have together after your brother, so raise up his generation so that he is not forgotten. At the end of 7 years, you are to read the Torah that Feast of Guilt, that Feast of Tabernacles. Every 7 years, when they would all go to Jerusalem, they would read the Torah so all could listen.
Okay, so here we are. Now, Rick Johnson had a question. He was questioning the Torah command on the cooking the goat in his mother's milk. Now, we've talked about this a little bit, and it's one of these Torah commands that, like, this sounds weird. Why do they have such a Torah command? Why is there something like this going on? So this actually, let's explain exactly what was happening in the ancient world. And most scholars and historians believe that the command is connected to the Canaanite fertility rituals. So what the archaeologists have discovered is from Ugarit, which is an ancient Canaanite transcripts, they found texts that seem to describe a ritual involving cooking a young goat, in its mother's milk. While the exact translation is debated, many scholars believe this was part of the pagan agricultural rite. And so what they were trying to do is they were basically promoting fertility of the land. They were ensuring rain and crop blessings, and they were appeasing fertility deities like Baal and Asheroth. And so for those who do not know who Baal and Asheroth is, that takes us back to Nimrod and his wife, Semiramis. And so here we are. When you look at these Torah commands, there's nothing out of place, and there's nothing that is, this is the kind of stuff that when you're in a pagan culture, and instead of praying to Yahuwah for rain or for good stuff, right, they were taking these kind of abominations and putting it together. And, obviously it's stuff that our Creator doesn't want us to do. He doesn't want us involved in this kind of witchcraft and pagan stuff just like this. So here we are right now.
We have one other question.
All right, what is the other question?
So
Eli.
this, I think it's a gal. She says, decades ago, a young family member gave me a cross necklace and a stone cross as gifts. I recently found these items in storage. Are they considered graven images that I should disregard?
Yeah, absolutely. You should not, here's the gig, right? Let's say, for instance, you have a family member and he does some horrible crime and he ends up going to the electric chair, right? So in memory of your, the guy you have, are you going to put an electric chair on around your neck, right? You have like a little thing. The thing is, it's pagan, right? Our Messiah never died on a cross to begin with. It was a cross beam. It was a stake, and so the literal word instead of cross is stake. But yet you have all these things, and it's not that our intent is bad, that we don't want to love the memory of our Messiah. It's that the Satanists do the same thing, right? That's why they love crosses. They love upside down crosses. They have all of this stuff because the execution of our Messiah was one of their greatest things. And so, yeah, I wouldn't be doing any of that stuff. Don't hang any of that around there, right? We are called to be a completely set apart group of people. Okay, so here we are. We are now into, let's see here. I lost my little guy. Eli, come here real quick, will you? Hold on real quick. Okay, we are into the thing.
Deuteronomy.
Yep. We are in, sorry guys.
Sure.
Okay, here we are, Deuteronomy chapter 24.
All right. So last time, well, I guess we are sitting outside the promised land. Moshe is teaching the people, the new generations about to go in and telling them exactly what they should do. And last time he was talking about the people in the assembly of Yahuwah when they go into the land, who enters the assembly, and people that are wounded, mutilated, have issues, they're not allowed to enter into the assembly of Yahuwah. Neither is an Ammonite or a Moabite. They did not treat the people of Israel nice when they were traveling through the wilderness, so they are not allowed inside their camps or their assemblies.
Yeah, and so the book of Deuteronomy is a fantastic book. Just an amazing, it is a summary of the first 4 books. And it is literally like if you needed a recap of what the commandments of our Creator are, this is the place to go. Now, shouldn't just be a recap, because the commandments of our Creator should be something that we all know very, very clearly. So, it's one of these things that it's a recap for those who don't know the commandments enough, and I guess even for us that we do. So here we are, chapter 24. When a man takes a wife and shall marry her, then it shall be, if she finds no favor in his eyes, because he has found a matter of shamefulness in her, and he shall write a certificate of divorcement and put it in her hand and send her out of her house. And if she left his house and went and became another man's wife, and the latter husband shall hate her and write her a certificate of divorcement and put it in her hand and send her out of his house, or when the latter husband dies who took her to be his wife, then her former husband who sent her away is not allowed to take her back to be his wife after she has been defiled, for that would be an abomination before Yahuwah. and do not bring sin on the land which Yahuwah your Elohim is giving you as an inheritance. Now, these are tough things for a lot of us to understand. And this question has come up a lot, and there's been a lot of fire and sulfur when it comes to this, because this is the problem. Adultery is a marriage-breaking deal. Number one, if you cheat on your wife or your husband and you are an adulterer, you are never to go back into that person, right? The marriage is over. You guys have destroyed that marriage in the eyes of our Creator. So we've had this before where people will argue this. They will go, oh no, I cheated on my husband, or I cheated on my wife, and we're still married and all this other stuff. Well, according to the eyes of our Creator, it's a game over thing, right? You have now made whoever you had an affair with an adulterer even more. You have made your spouse an adulterer, and you're carrying on in the sin. This is the law of our Creator, and it makes a tremendous amount of sense. So in the event that married couples decide it's game over and they, as they say, split the sheets, well, it is literally over. It's game over, and the marriage is over if you guys go to that road with another person. And a lot of people, again, they will fire shells into this, and they will be, oh, well, you know, it happened and they're back. Well, it may have happened and you may be back, but your marriage is illegitimate in the eyes of our Creator, according to these commands right here. Continuing on, when a man has taken a new wife, let him not go out into the army, nor let any matter be imposed upon him. He shall be exempt 1 year for the sake of his home, to rejoice with his wife whom he has taken. And again, this is fantastic stuff. For those of us who, you know, are married, for those of us who've been married for a gazillion years, a lot of things in life become problematic, especially in new marriages. There's new jobs, broken jobs, getting fired. All these kind of things are sometimes marriage wreckers. And these are the things that our Creator wanted you and your spouse to become very, very close before you had these problems go. And so the more time that you are able to spend with your wife, that is something that is going to solidify your family and make your future better. Because, you know, imagine you get married and you go off into war. You come back later and the love is gone, right? And you come back 3 or 4 years later, it's over. So you have a full year that you are supposed to be with your wife to bring this to fruition. What you got, Miss Nicole?
Rick Johnson wants to know, where does forgiveness fit in with adultery? Is adultery unforgivable?
No, it's not unforgivable, but there's rules and regulations, right? I mean, you may forgive somebody for breaking fidelity with you, but it's not forgivable to go back into them as a marriage, right? We're supposed to forgive, you know, and that's the thing is adultery is one of these things that is a soul crusher, not just to the one that's doing it, but to the one who's the victim of it, right? Men, women. It is one of these things, when you lose trust, it's one of these games. And you can forgive people all you want. But as far as going back into them with marriage and saying, okay, everything's okay in marriage, it's game over, right? It is a divorce in the eyes of our Creator, and you're basically heaping more problems on an already broken commandment that you have. So forgive all you want, move on, don't go back into them, is what the scriptures say. Continuing on, 6. No one takes in pledge the lower or the upper millstone, for he would be taking a life in pledge. And again, folks don't understand, you know, we live in the land where you go and buy a bag of flour. You couldn't go buy bags of flour back in the day, right? You grab wheat or barley and you would grind it into a flour or almonds, whatever it is. And the mills, what you have for that, that's literally your life and death. If you got to a situation where you had to give up your food grinder and you could no longer grind your food, that's not what our Creator wants. Our Creator wants us not to live in excess, but to live without the full-on struggles. And so these are all part of the laws that our Creator has seen were problems inside of society. And so, yeah, right. We don't hurt other people, even if they owe us money. We're not there to take food away from them. We're not there to make their lives even worse, right? There's rules and regulations for all of this. 7, when a man is found kidnapping any of his brothers of the children of Yisrael and treats him harshly or sells him, then the kidnapper shall die. Thus you shall purge the evil from your midst. So here you go, right? We live in a society that the laws of our Creator don't matter, right? I talk to dudes all the time who have been involved in kidnapping or some sort of thing where they took people by force, and now they're doing either life's in prison or a lot of time in prison, and they're probably lucky, because if we lived in a just society, if we lived in a world that was under the laws, statutes, and commandments of our Creator, then we would simply take them outside the city gates and kill them, right? That's just how it is. And that may sound harsh, but would you rather have evil taken out of your midst, or would you rather end up in a bag when some guy's kidnapping you, right? That's the thing, is we have to end the evil from our midst. Continue on, 8. Take heed in an outbreak of leprosy to diligently guard and do according to all the Kohanim, the Levites, teach you. As I have commanded them, so you shall guard to do. And in the days of not having doctors, the Levites, the Lewites, were the doctors. These were the guys that when you had weirdo boils, when you have weird stuff happening, when you're unclean, you got to go to the priest, right? You got to get it taken care of. And there's, in the days of leprosy, and, we don't see a lot of those things around here like we do anymore, but that was a killing disease, right? I mean, it is not a disease that is a good thing. Your flesh literally melts off your body, and it's when you have an outbreak, there's nothing to do but to do what the Kohanim, the priests say. 9, remember what Yahuwah your Elohim did to Miriam on the way when you came out of Mitzrayim. All right, what's a recap, gentlemen? What did Elohim do to Miriam, and why?
So Miriam decided she was going to speak against Moshe.
Who's Miriam?
That is the sister of Moshe. This is the guy who's talking here. That is his sister.
His sister.
And she decided to speak up against him and say, you know what? We are Levites too. God can speak through us. Yahuwah will speak to us. And, well, they smack talk Moshe. Yahuwah gave her leprosy.
Yeah.
And that was like 7 days later. So.
Yeah, she pulls her hand out, and it's white.
She was very sick. And leprosy was also thought back in the day to be a punishment for evil speaking.
Yeah, evil speak. And it's, there's something to be said for a lot of this stuff, right? And it wasn't just Moshe's sister, it was Aharon's sister as well. And these weren't just scrubs, right? These weren't just some common Israel people. These were people up in the so-called government rankings, right? When you're hanging out with Moshe and you're the high priest, as Aaron was, and Miriam was a Navi, right? She was a prophet. She's like one of the very first prophetesses that we even hear about that is Navi, prophesying for things. So these weren't just regular people. These were the people of Yah. And when you start bad-mouthing the ways and the wishes of Yah, he's going to do some stuff that's going to open your eyes very much. 10, when you lend your brother a loan, do not go into his house to get his pledge, right? This is the difference between a civilized society and a bunch of thugs, right? Our thoughts when somebody rips us off is it like to kick his door down and go rip everything out, stick it in a bag, and take off. Unfortunately, it's not unfortunate. It's fortunate for us that we don't do those kind of things, because a lot of times it's not going to be like this, right? A lot of times when you break into somebody's house and you start taking the stuff, even if it's yours, somebody's going to club you over the head. Something's going to go down, right? When you bust into somebody's private location, even if it's something that's owed, there's going to be some sort of problems. It's not going to be okay. The guy's probably not going to just say, okay, here's your stuff. 11, stand outside, and this is about the guy with the pledge, and let the man to whom you lend bring the pledge out to you. So we have rules for everything, right? Rules for loans, rules for how to get loans repaid, rules for taking collateral of millstones. The things of our lives, we have all these rules for. And the sick thing is that the rest of the world says these laws are dead. They're on the cross. They died. Okay, so we should go busting into our brother's house and wreck his house and wreck his life and his family's life so they'll never forget that they owed you money. You made it right? This is what our Creator is trying to prevent. 12, and if the man is poor, do not sleep with his pledge. By all means, return the pledge to him at sundown, and he shall sleep in his own garment and shall barak you, and it shall be righteousness to you before Yahuwah, your Elohim. So again, you take the guy's clothes, You're sleeping soundly. This guy's crying because he's cold. He's discomforted. Our Creator hears this stuff, right? If you have the means and he didn't have the means and he had to take out a loan, give him his clothes back, right? Let this guy off the hook a little bit, right? We're not to be these evil, greedy banksters. Continuing on. Do not oppress a hired servant who is poor and needy of your brothers or of the strangers who is in your land within your gates. And again, this is a problem in the world, right? We see somebody and advantage is taken, right? We see somebody on the streets and we're like, man, I wonder if this guy will work for cheap. Or we see this, or people are taking advantage all the time because of their conditions. And we need to make sure that we are doing what is right in the eyes of the Creator. So 15, give him his wages on the same day, and do not let the sun go down on, for he is poor and lifts up his being to it, so that he does not cry out against you to Yahuwah, and it shall be sent to you. Fathers, this is a great commandment. This is great. Children, all you guys out there, all of us should be cheering this one on. When I read this, everybody cheer. Fathers are not put to death for their children, and the children are not put to death for their fathers. Each is to die for his own sins. Great news. Yeah, drum roll. Come on. Right. Got a drum roll. We haven't done a drum roll for a long time. That's great news for my kids, because there are problems with, we all grew up in Babylon. We've done some wicked stuff. And if my kids had to fall and die from my sins, that would be terrible. So this is the walk, right? We walk this walk, and we may have company, but at the end of the day, judgment is based solely on ourselves, and we're not going to be able to pull everybody else into it. It's us. 17, do not twist the right ruling of a stranger or the fatherless, nor take the garment of a widow. Big stuff, right? Now, number one is when you think of Paul, the great Paul, and all his letters, right? Right out of the gate, Paul breaks all these commandments. And people out there will like, oh no, I love Paul. Paul's my God. And I get it. I know you guys love Paul. I know there's so many out there that will die and fall on the sword for Paul. Now, this right here says not to take the garment of a widow. It didn't say anything about that this widow must be qualified. In Paul's books, he will say that a widow's not a widow unless she's a certain age. She's not a widow unless she is like of one marriage. She's not a widow of there's all these conditions that old Paul has put out there, and people are like, we love Paul. Paul died for our salvation. And that is what they will say, literally going against the word of our Creator. So regardless of what Paul says, that he hates the widows and can't stand the widows, literally is what it says. What scriptures really says is not that, right? If we're taking the garment of a widow and she's already crushed, she's already broken, her heart's already gone, and now we're making her life worse, and we have the ability not to do such a thing, right? This is the human condition. We need to make sure that we are loving our strangers, our people, just like we love Elohim. 18, but you shall remember that you were a slave in Mitzrayim, and that Yahuwah your Elohim redeemed you from there. Therefore, I am commanding you to do this word. When you reap your harvest in your field and have forgotten a sheaf in the field, do not go back for it. Let it be for the stranger, for the fatherless, and for the widow, so that Yahuwah your Elohim might barak you in all the work of your hands. We've talked about this. This is all part of the commandments that we go over, right? As much as this may seem, like a new reading, these are all the same commands that we read every Shabbat. This is, again, the human condition. The Creator, Yahuwah, does not want people hungry. He doesn't want people poor. He doesn't want people broke. This is the way it is. And I'm not going to say he doesn't want people broke, because actually I think that is part of the world that we are into, is that this world, it's better to be broke than it is to be rich, because we know from Messiah's own words that it's really hard to inherit the kingdom when you're rich. So when you have a field and you glean it, when you go through it, you're not to go back and get the very last bits of it, right? It is meant for those who don't have the means to it. They're to jump in the fence and to feed, right? The buffet line is your field, and you got to be okay with it. And I've talked about this before, but if you have a field of wheat and somebody comes in and eats just out of their hands, you're never, ever going to be able to tell where they were at, unless they were there for a very, very long time. Like I'm talking a day of eating in a certain spot. If they just go from side to side and they eat little plucks, you'll never even know that these guys were there. And you're fed the poor, and it didn't cost you a darn thing. 20. When you beat your olive trees, do not examine the branch beneath you. Let it be for the stranger, for the fatherless, and for the widow. Again, don't wipe out the stores of the supermarket when there's others that are going to be coming by and grabbing the stuff. When you gather the grapes of your vineyard, do not glean behind you. Let it be for the stranger, for the fatherless, and for the widow. And you shall remember that you were a slave in the land of Mitzrayim. Therefore, I am commanding you to do this word. And guys, we may not have been slaves in the land of Mitzrayim, but we are absolutely slaves in this four corners of this world, right? Every single one of us are under a slave system, whether it's the government of the United States of America or the government of the UK or the government of Australia. We're all slaves, right? If we do things outside of these laws, we are going to get in trouble. And so remember that our forefathers and foremothers were all slaves in the land of Mitzrayim, and all of this is as a remembrance side of things. Do you have anything?
Before you go to John,
Yeah.
we have a question on adultery again.
Okay.
Boy.
It says, does that not make adultery an unpardonable sin? I thought there was only one unpardonable sin.
You can. I mean, here's the thing, guys. Right? We're not the people forgiving the sins in the eyes of Elohim. We can forgive our brothers and sisters. We can forgive our spouses that have crushed our souls and crushed our hearts, and we can say it's okay. But as far as going in and having sex again with them, you're violating commands. It's game over. And I've said this for years and years and years. There's no other way out of the Torah. There's no other place in scriptures. There's nothing that says you're okay to go into a defiled spouse. So if you have gone down that road and you have become an adulterer, your wife is an adulterer, that marriage is over, right? Call it. It's game over. If you go into bed again with them, you have done it. You have committed an even greater sin, because now you're an adulterer with their spouse. You're sharing beds with other people outside of your marriage. It's over, right? That's what people have to understand. As far as being an unpardonable in the eyes of Yahuwah, yeah, right? Think of the northern tribes of Israel. They were divorced to the point where they are still divorced. There's 10 tribes that are in captivity. All of these tribes are us, right? They were divorced. According to our Creator's words, he can't take them back. But he did take them back because of Messiah Yahushua. That's the bride, right? That's the bridegroom that we have. And so that is the thing. If you are in adultery, it's over, right? It's over. Call it quits. You can love them the rest of your life, but you can't go into them unless you want to become a bigger adulterer and a bigger sinner.
You can forgive them, but you can't be with them.
Yeah, absolutely. Forgive them all you want. Yeah, so I mean,
it is forgivable, but you can't be with them. That's sin on your part.
Absolutely. So if you literally have gone to the other side of the field and eaten that grass, the marriage is over. So that's just what it says in scriptures. Unless somebody can give me some scriptures that show me anything else other than that, it's game over. And again, these are hard words to hear, right? A lot of us have run into issues like this with our spouse. A lot of us are in marriages where we've had our spouses that cheat on us and stuff. And I know from all you guys, it's never the same, right? You can forgive and you can go back to them, but will you ever truly trust them again? Probably not. I wouldn't. And so it is what it is. So marriage is it's a couples of trust, right? It's a trust thing. And that's why adultery, I'm always telling people, adultery is such a grave sin in the eyes of a marriage, in the eyes of Yahuwah, in the eyes of you, right? And you'll end up with an STD. You'll end up with some sort of horrible AIDS or something like that, and then you got what you deserved.
We also had Jacob when Reuben defiled Bilhah. He never went back to her again.
Yep.
He put her away as sad as he was. He never went back to her again.
Yep, absolutely. Reuben, yeah, Reuben, defiled the sheets, and even on his deathbed, Reuben was very upset about the whole thing. His dad, even on his deathbed, he's like, yeah, well, you defiled my bed. Same thing, right? Your spouse or you go and defile your bed, call it quits. Be a man enough to call it quits. Be a woman enough to call it quits. If you literally thought that going to another person's bed was the right move on and, don't do this error again.
And it's a sin in Yahuwah's eyes because he takes two flesh and makes them one.
Yep.
And what Yahuwah has put together, don't let them separate. And if you go into someone else, you separate the two fleshes into two again. So
Absolutely, and that Messiah is very, very clear about all this, right? Two people become one flesh, and you have to be in a good marriage to understand this, right? You have to understand that it's really it's a tag team thing, but at a certain level, you guys all become one team, all of a big team, and it's just how it is, and. We got to keep the Torah to the very best of our abilities. Even if it sounds harsh that you cheat on your wife, you've ruined your marriage, leave, right? You've cheated, your wife cheated on you, the marriage is ruined, it's time to leave, right? And the longer you guys are together at that point, it's obvious there's problems enough that you guys have already been in adultery. Why keep this up? It would be better to be celibate by far than to be into an adulterous relationship by far. I mean, that's the only thing I think Paul would have that I would say he has something decent to say, is he says about this, right? Just stay celibate in some things, but of course, his advice is whacked. Continuing on, here we go. Let us get into the book of Yochanan. John, another great book, epic book. Jade, will you please give us a breakdown of where we are at?
Yehoshua was born, he grew up, learned a lot, surprised a lot of people, then went and got baptized by his cousin. He went and found 12 disciples, people he found trust with. They became his family. They went around Israel teaching and restoring Torah, showing people what the life could be like. They went outside of the traditions, back to obedience and having forgiveness. And the people don't like that. The Pharisees, the Sadducees, the Kohanim, they do not appreciate what Yehoshua is doing. It goes against their traditions and goes against what they believe. So Yehoshua is contesting everything that they teach, and it offends them to a point where they want to kill him. They're plotting for his death. And now he is in Jerusalem during the time of the Passover, the holy feast for the sacrifice. And he is saying that his hour has come, that his time is up soon, and that he wants Yahuwah to glorify him, and you glorify his name through his son.
Yeah. All right. Having said this, Yahushua went out with his Talmidim, the disciples, beyond the Kidron Torrent, where there was a garden, into which he and his Talmidim entered. And Yahudah, who delivered him up, also knew the place because Yahushua often met there with his Talmidim. And we have old Judas, right? The old Judas Iscariot. Yahudah, then having received the squad and officers from the chief Kohanim and Pharisees, came there with lanterns and torches and weapons. Now, this particular part had no Roman involvement. So them taking Messiah, there was a couple different things. Judas did not want Messiah taken where there was a large crowd. And he was, in the event that they would have taken him in the middle of the large crowd, where everybody was really into Messiah Yahushua, they could have very much revolted and smoked everybody. So it was Judas's own little schemes and plans that they take him at a certain time such as this. Yahushua, then knowing all that would come upon him, went forward and said to them, "Whom do you seek?" They answered, "Him, Yahushua of Nazareth." Yahushua said to them, "I am." And Yahudah, who delivered him up, was also standing with them. Now, a lot of the people that are stuck in the Trinity see this I am. And the I am is all part of the entire hoax, where people are like, well, he said I am. That means he said he is the creator of the universe. Messiah Yahushua says I am means he is Yahuwah, right? The Trinitarians will argue this. They will go over and over and over. And I don't know if those who are stuck in the Trinity have opened and read their books very, very slowly, because I can't find anywhere in there that the Trinity has any kind of water whatsoever. It's not legitimate. It doesn't stand any weight. So when we have I am with Messiah Yahushua, he's not saying that he is the creator. He's saying, are you Yahushua of Nazareth?
That's me.
That's me. I'm me. I am. Yep. Are you Jason Boss? Oh, I am. I'm not going to, I didn't just claim the divinity of the creator of the universe. 6. When therefore he said to them, I am, they drew back and fell on the ground. Once more, he asked them, whom do you seek? And they said, Yahushua of Nazareth. So you have a supernatural event, right? We don't discuss these two verses a lot, but there's something that happened right here, right? The power that went forth. You have a bunch of soldiers and guards. These guys, the soldier. If you become a soldier, number one, usually you're not a wimp, Number one, if you're a soldier, you're there for action. It's like the cops in North America, right? If you want to go beat up the end user, go beat up people and have full rights to do whatever you want to do, you become a cop. And they will go out there and they are testosterone ridden guys that are usually ex-soldiers, right? That didn't have a place coming out of Iraq or somewhere else. And they have carte blanche. You can do whatever you want, right? That you see the videos all the time. The soldiers, this is the same thing, right? So you're not going to, have a whole crew of cops and they're going to go, "Are you Jason Boss?" I'm going to go, "I am." And they're not going to all fall to the ground, right? They're going to come forward and probably handcuff me or throw me to the ground is what's going to happen, right? So the event of these guys all falling to the ground had to be something spectacular to see. And then once more they go, what's going on? And he asks, like, "Who do you seek?" And again, they said, "Yahushua of Nazareth." Yahushua answered, "I said to you that I am. If then you seek me, allow these to go, in order that the word might be fulfilled which he spoke, of those whom you have given me, I have lost none." So we have Bible prophecy right here. And you also have our Messiah who's trying to keep his people alive, all the people right there. And so, that's a leader right there. That's somebody that goes, "Okay, you got your man. Now let my people go," right? Let my people go. We've heard that before in Exodus. Let my people go. Now you have the Son saying the same stuff, right? Allow my people to go. 10. Then Shimon Kepha, having a sword, drew it and struck the Kohen Hagdadal's servant and cut off his right ear. And the servant's name was Melech. This is an interesting part of John, right? Because we have all of these other accounts in the other Gospels, and it never really, this is one of the ones that actually gives us a name. All the other ones are a disciple did it, but all of us knowing the temperament of Kepha, we love Peter, right? Peter is the guy, like, no Messiah, don't just wash my feet, wash my head, wash my hands as well. Let's make this whole thing right? We love Kepha because he's a lot like us, right? A lot of the same kind of stuff. Then Yahushua said to Kepha, "Put your sword into the sheath. Shall I not drink the cup which my Father has given me?" And again, the Trinitarians, the problem with not being able to comprehend what you're reading is Messiah very clearly says, "My Father gave me the cup." If this was his own endeavor, if this was his own goal, his own mission, that he was out there to suicide himself out in this way, then it's why would his Father be involved if he was the Father, right? This is the hoax and this is the lies of the Trinity that we all have to take and destroy. Then the squad and the commander and the officers of the Yahudim seized Yahushua and bound him, and they led him away to Canaan first, for he was the father-in-law of Caiaphas, who was the Kohen Hagdadal that year. Now Caiaphas was the one who gave counsel to the Yahudim that it was better that one man should die for the people. So you have an evil religious group guy, and he literally was able to prophesy the truth. And this was the truth. It all came to be that had we not had Messiah that died in this way, all of our hopes and dreams would still be out there. We would still be waiting on a Messiah. We'd be still waiting on a priest, a real priest, a legitimate priest, because priests of men are not legitimate. Priests of men still fall into sin, which means they have to atone for their own sins before they can atone for yours. Where our Messiah, that doesn't happen. So here we are. And Shimon Kepha followed Yahushua with another Talmud. And that Talmud was known to the Kohen Hagdal and went with Yahushua into the courtyard of the Kohen Hagdal. Now, we'd actually know from scriptures who that was, but there was a lot of people. I mean, there was hundreds and hundreds and hundreds. We hear about 12, and we know the 12, but there were probably thousands of people that in and around Messiah's world and life during that time. But Kepha was standing outside at the door. So the other Talmud, who was known to the Kohen Hagdal, went out and spoke to her who kept the door and brought Kepha in. Then the servant girl who kept the door said to Kepha, "Are you also one of this man's Talmidim?" He said, "I am not." And the servants and officers who had made a fire of coals stood there because it was cold. And they warmed themselves. And Kepha was standing with them and warming himself. Then the Kohen Hagdal asked Yahushua about his Talmidim and his teaching. Yahushua answered him, "I spoke openly to the world. I always taught in the congregation and in the Mikdash, where the Yahudim always meet. And I spoke not in secret. I said nothing to you guys in secret. I didn't do anything. I came to you guys full on, full spread. I gave you guys the truth. And it seems like you have to go into the middle of the night to get this little conspiracy to come and get me when you could have taken me in the middle of it. That's exactly what he was saying. These guys, it's a scam, right? The entire thing was a hidden scam where it's just the people would not be okay with this, right? That what these religious Satanists did of this time, and I say religious Satanists because anybody that takes Deuteronomy 4:2 and adds to the word and takes away from the word, in my eyes, is a Satanist. You may not be openly sacrificing a child in a pentagram to Satan, but by doing his will, you are on Team Satan. And so all of these people, it doesn't matter what religion you're in, you're on Team Satan. And I know this makes a lot of people mad. A lot of people love to pick up rocks and toss them at me, but it's the truth. And we have to acknowledge this as the truth, because if you're not for Yahuwah and Yahushua, then you're against them. And I didn't say that. Messiah said that himself. Continuing on. I think it's 21. Why do you ask me? Ask those who have heard me what I said to them. See, they know what I said. And when he had said this, one of the officers who stood by slapped Yahushua in the face, saying, do you answer the Kohen Haggadah this way? Yahushua answered him, if I have spoken evilly, bear witness of the evil. But if well, why do you strike me? Again, this guy just broke Torah, right? This guy was employed. He probably, I don't think you would have been a temple guard unless you were a Yahudim. You were part of this clique. And out of nowhere, we don't have Torah commands that we can strike people like this. What in the world? Messiah very clearly gave this guy, he broke Torah. Why are you doing this? Where's the witnesses? Where's the process, right? But yet these guys are in the middle of the night, like a bunch of thieves, pulling this off because it would have never, ever happened correctly during the day. Then Conan, send him bound to the Kohen Haggadah, Caiaphas. And Shimon Kepha was standing and warming himself. Then they said to him, are you also one of his Talmidim? He denied it and said, I am not. Okay, guys, it's not that Peter was just a wimp, because we know that Peter was not a wimp. It's that this was an extremely stressful situation. He was barely hanging on. Everybody thought they were all going to get tied up, and the same fate that happened to Messiah was going to happen to them. This was what everybody thought it was going to happen. This is why when you strike the shepherd, the sheep are fleeing, right? This is what happened. And so it wasn't that there was no stress. It's that there was stress of life or death, and Kepha made a bad decision. In fact, I bet you anything, by the time he got done with this particular decision, his life was never, ever the same, right? I just knowing what had happened and seeing, because he didn't know. He's like, when Messiah says, you're going to deny me 3 times, Kevin's like, pah! He's like, bull. It ain't going to happen. It ain't happening at all. And then it happened. And so here we are, that this is, it's a huge event. 26. One of the servants of the Kohen Haggadah, a relative of the one whose ear Kepha cut off, said, did I not see you in the garden with him? Then Kepha again denied it, and immediately a cock crowed. Then they led Yahushua from Caiaphas to the palace, and it was early still, right? A bunch of thieves in the middle of the night. And they themselves did not go into the palace, lest they should be defiled, but that they might eat the Pesach. So basically, if they were going into these places and based upon Passover rules and regulations, leaven being gone, keeping ourselves clean, right? You cannot celebrate Passover if you're unclean. And so these guys at this point were very, very astute on how to get to this particular festival without being defiled. That being said, these guys were running a scam and basically defiling. I mean, these guys had no idea how dark their hearts even were at this point. 29. Pilatus therefore came out to them and said, what accusation do you bring against this man? They answered and said to him, if he were not an evildoer, we would not deliver him up to you. Now, that's the crazy stuff, right? It's like, you got the most evildoers of all, and they're like, well, if this guy wasn't an evildoer, we wouldn't have brought him to you. Like they are on some kind of other holy level. And that's the thing is, back in the day when you couldn't read and write, and the only people that could read and write and that had the authority to even give you the understanding of the scriptures are these guys. They gained an enormous amount of power and prestige. And this is what Messiah was always telling them. They made a business out of their religion, out of their love for Elohim. They made it a business, which is why these guys were all loaded, right? If you were a Sadducee and Pharisee, you were rich beyond anything. And so continuing on. 31. Then Pilatus said to them, you take him and judge him according to your law. The Yahudim said to him, it is not right for us to put anyone to death, in order that the word of Yahushua might be filled, which he spoke, signifying by what death he was about to die. Then Pilatus went back into the palace and called Yahushua and said to him, you are the sovereign of the Yahudim? Yahushua answered him, do you say this from yourself, or did others talk to you about me? Pilatus answered, am I a Yahudi? Your own nation and the chief Kohanim have delivered you to me. What did you do? Yahushua answered, my reign is not of this world. If my reign were of this world, my servants would fight so that I should not be delivered to the Yahudim. But now my reign is not from here. Now, a lot of things, this is the Jews of that day are the ones who did this, right? And that's the funny thing is, we live in such a cotton-balled little weak world that the so-called little people from over there in that country, you can't say that. You say things like, yeah, they had a hand in killing Messiah. They're like, oh, that's not true. We don't want that mark on us, right? You literally can't even say that anymore, that they literally took the Messiah and killed him, right? Oh, them are fighting words. We did no such thing. Absolutely, you absolutely did. Continuing on, then Pilatus said to him, you are a sovereign then? Yahushua answered, you say it because I am a sovereign? For this I was born, and for this I have come into the world, that I should bear witness to the truth. Everyone who is of the truth hears my voice. Pilatus said to him, what is truth? And when he had said this, he went out again to the Yahudim and said to them, I find no guilt in him. So you have Pilatus, right? You have this Roman guy that's, straight up out of Rome, probably part of the philosophers of Rome. And, the Messiah's talking about truth, and he comes back and he's like, what is truth? And that's a great question, right? In the world that we are in, we have a religious system. We have a Christian religion that says you can get on your knees in an altar call and your sins are forgiven, and you can do whatever it is you want to do. You can sin as you want to do. You have 10 commandments, but you don't have to keep the fourth commandment, which is keep the Shabbat, right? You have no other commands. They died with Messiah. So what is truth, right? If that is the truth that is presented to all of us, what about the Catholic religion, right? You walk into this little tiny box with a little pedophile guy that's sitting there blessing you and telling you your sins are forgiven. What is truth? The same kind of stuff. It doesn't matter. The religious system is what I can tell you without a shadow of a doubt is not truth. And I've never found a religious system that is set up anywhere that has the truth, because every single one of these religious systems has their own little doctrine. It doesn't matter what church you have. If you have a church, you have a doctrine that is outside of the scriptures. And if you have a doctrine that is outside of the scriptures and you're okay with that, I guess you're okay with it. But for those of us who have commandments like Deuteronomy 4:2 that says, do not add to and do not take away from the Torah, we know that anything outside of this or anything that comes different of the Torah is a sin. So when people tell us we can worship on a Sunday and that's the new Lord's Day, what is truth? Where do we find this truth, right? We don't find it in this satanic religious system. 39, but you have a custom that I shall release someone to you at the Pesach. Do you want then that I release to you the sovereign of the Yahudim? Then they all shouted again, saying, not this one, but Barabbas. And Barabbas was a robber. Not only was a robber, but he was also a murderer, right? This guy had gone down for murder. In fact, he was plotting Roman stuff, right? He was a Messiah-style guy, right? During this time, there were messiahs coming all the time. Everybody was the Messiah. And nobody knew what the difference was. But there was only one Messiah that came that actually proved it and did exactly what he said. And that was Yahushua. That was the Son of the Most High. So with that, guys, I hope that this has been a enlightening reading for you guys. I hope that you guys, if you are not Torah keepers, that you would strongly consider having that life change. There's nothing more powerful in life than walking the Torah path. And it is something that is, it's a no regret thing. I've never met anybody that's ever started walking Torah that says later that, man, I really regret walking Torah. I really regret keeping these laws of our Creator, right? Because every single law is such an amazing thing that you would have to be a fool to say they don't exist. You would have to be very ignorant to say they're dead and gone. So with that, everybody, we love you all very much. We hope that you guys have a wonderful rest of your Shabbat. Jade, will you please bless our brothers and sisters?
It will block you and guard you. It will make his face shine upon you and show favor to you. It will lift his face upon you and give you peace.
We're exiting here with our final songs here on this. What do you got? Yeah, 5. All right, so here we are. Eli's giving me the hand signs. I'm trying to figure it out. I'm not a football guy, so he's over there on the side coaching me this, but I got it. All right, here we are, guys. Walk humbly. This is out of Micah 6.
Do what's right, love mercy too. Walk humbly with Yahuwah true. A simple truth, no fancy show. This is the way we're meant to go. Not empty words, not loud display. Torah life is lived Yah's way. Justice first in all we do. Faith made visible, real and true. Do what's right, love mercy too. Walk humbly with Yahuwah true. Simple truth, no fancy show. This is the way we're meant to go. Mercy flows from obedient hearts, not from pride or selfish parts. Truth has won. Torah life has just begun. Do what's right, love mercy too. Walk humbly with Yahuwah true. Simple truth, no fancy show. This is the way we're meant to go. Humble steps, not seeking fame. Living Torah all the same. Quiet strength, steady pace. Walking faithful in His grace. Do what's right, love mercy too. Walk humbly with Yahuwah true. A simple truth and no fancy show. This is the way we're meant to go. From sunrise till the night is done. Torah live, not just begun. This is how the righteous stand. Walking My net was empty, but Yahweh filled the sea with mercy. I threw my rope where the waters died. No silver flash, no living tide. The dawn was cold, my hands were torn. I feared my hope would not be born. Yahweh, you are my provider. Yahushua, you are my king. Shamayim lifts up your glory. And I will sing, and I will sing. Then Ruach stirred the silent foam and whispered peace into my home. A sparkle rose beneath the wave, like hidden gifts you came to say. Yahweh, you are my provider. Oh, Yahushua, you are my king. Shamayim lifts up your glory. And I will sing, and I will sing. The net grew heavy, pulled so deep. My knees fell down, I could not speak. And in that weight I saw your name. Kadosh fire, holy flame. Yahoo, you are my provider. Yahushua, you are my king. Shamayim lifts up your glory. And I will sing, and I will sing. Yahoo, you are my provider. Yahushua, you are my king. Shamayim lifts up your glory. And I will sing, and I will sing. Now when I'm cast into the night, I trust your hand, I trust your light. For every seed, for every breath, you feed my soul, you conquer death. Yahoo, you are my provider. Yahushua, you are my king. Shamayim lifts up your glory. And I will sing, and I will sing. Look inside, don't chase the gold. Torah shows what can't be sold. A rich man asked with polished pride, why speak with Paul, come stand inside. Yahushua said they listen true. The rich are busy chasing dew. Torah mirror, show me clear. Guide my steps, remove my fear. Take no thought for tomorrow's storm. Yahuwah's word will keep me warm. They are fattening geeks, he said, eating, sleeping, being fed, unaware of coming day when they themselves are swept away. Torah mirror, show me clear. Guide my steps, remove my fear. Take no thought for tomorrow's storm. Yahuwah's word will keep me warm. Within your chest, Torah shows you what is best. Like a mirror, true and right, it shows the face in full clear light. Torah mirror, show me clear. Guide my steps, remove my fear. Take no thought for tomorrow's storm. Yahuwah's word will keep me warm. He said long life won't help the world. It gives the wicked more to hurl. Life is enough if you
right, beautiful family. May Yahweh bless you and keep you. May his light forever shine upon you. May the mercy of the Torah, may the rules and regulations of the Torah be everything in your life. And may we all greet each other in the kingdom to come, give each other big hugs because we have been loyal and obedient to the creator of the universe. Shabbat shalom, everybody.